Welcome, friends, to the Christian Renewal Center. This is a video to help our groups that are planning a retreat at the Christian Renewal Center to just prepare. So this video is really for your team and the retreat planning team. You don't need to show this to all your retreatants. My name's Kim Brown. I'm the director of the Christian Renewal Center. We're so excited that you have chosen the Christian Renewal Center for your upcoming retreat. We want to go over some basic things so you're prepared. Each group has assigned somebody called the Golden Plunger. Upon you coming and checking in at the Christian Renewal Center, I'm going to give you a Golden Plunger flip chart. This will answer a lot of the common basic questions, as well as go over a lot of what it goes in more depth of what the video is. It's a flip chart. So if you're like, oh no, the AC is not working, you can literally flip to the section called air conditioning and heating, and it'll make sure that you know how to use the various air conditioners at the Christian Renewal Center prior to calling the on-call staff. It's really important that you have already provided us the Golden Plunger cell phone number, so we're able to save that into our cell phone so that when we see this number pop up on our phones, we know that it's someone here on retreat calling. Of course, when you're on retreat, you can call the 2 on-call phone numbers that we have provided, as well as during the daytime hours and for your meal schedules, we have staff in the cafeteria serving retreats. We ask you to be mindful. Sometimes we have 2 groups on site, sometimes 3, even sometimes we have 4 retreats on site at the same time. They each are given their dedicated meeting halls, their sleeping places. We coordinate to share the chapel or the cafeteria, as well as the outdoor prayer space. So be very mindful of the dual retreats. What's really important is to respect the other retreats that are on site. So be mindful of your noise, be mindful of your space, be mindful of your times. When it comes to the chapel and the cafeteria, these are the shared spaces for all groups. So we ask that you be very considerate by making sure that you start and end your things on time. Don't just walk in the chapel an hour before your start time because somebody else could be in that chapel celebrating Mass. So please be respectful of the other groups that are on site and what they're trying to do at their retreat. All retreats have different components. Sometimes it might be very serious, like we're praying the passion of Jesus Christ through the Stations of the Cross, and we're very intense and very much focused on his love and his suffering in that moment. At the same time, someone else might be having fellowship at that time and maybe an icebreaker. So 2 different things can happen. So just be mindful of other groups. And this is why we ask that prior to coming on retreat, you've made sure to schedule if you're doing any outdoor time, whether that's you're doing the outdoor Stations of the Cross Trail, if you're doing the outdoor rosary, if you're utilizing, you want to use the Gaga pits, just please coordinate it so we make sure that all the groups are working well together. When it comes to quiet hours at the Christian Renewal Center, this is what is happening outside of the buildings. So from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., we say no loud outside noise. The signage, please make sure if you're hanging signs, use the clips that are provided along the walkway or in the halls, or only to use painter's tape. Please don't come in with masking tape because this really does takes the paint off of the walls. And we're working really hard to make improvements. And we hate it whenever somebody puts tape up there and then it comes down, because that's just us having to spend more money, time, and staff resources and the paint supplies to fix that area that has maybe already been fixed. So signage, use painter's tape only, or use the clips that are provided. Golf carts, they're only for use for guests with mobility issues. And we ask you to stay on the sidewalks, to not drive on the grass. This helps it to stay beautiful for everybody using the Christian Renewal Center. If during your retreat somebody gets injured, we ask that you please notify the on-call staff, as well as to complete an incident report that the on-call staff will be able to provide for you. Lastly, your group leader, your job is to make sure that you guys are in compliance with the addendums that were provided to you for your retreat, as well as just to make sure that you're kind of following what's happening at the Christian Renewal Center. So some common things to be mindful of. When it comes to air conditioning and heating, there are different types of units we have throughout the Christian Renewal Center, but the common thing is to make sure that you always have it turned to auto and not on. On means that it will continuously blow at whatever temperature you set. Sometimes people come in a room, they're like, oh, it's so hot, let me drop it down to 60 degrees. And they drop it really quickly, hoping by turning it on and all the way down to 60, that's going to get the room really cold really fast. Well, it does do that. But because you set it to on, even when the room hits 60 degrees, it will continuously blow that cold air at 60 degrees. What that can happen then is it can do what we call freezing the coils. It's gotten so cold that the AC actually freezes. The only way for an AC that has been frozen to work again, because once it freezes, it stops working. The only way for it to work is for the coils to defrost, which is 6 to 8 hours. None of us in the Houston humidity, especially in the summertime, want to wait 6 to 8 hours for an AC unit to unthaw. So please make sure to turn the unit to auto. What that does is it says, well, I want the room to be at 72 degrees, and I'm going to put that auto 72 degrees in air conditioning. When the room hits 72 degrees, the unit automatically shuts off. So for both heat and air conditioning, you want to set it to auto. So be mindful of that. At the end of your retreat, on the back of your room doors, it'll say, as well as in the Golden Plunger list, it lists what you do at checkout. At the end of your retreat, you go and you set the AC units in summertime to 78 degrees auto air conditioning. In the wintertime, 60 degrees auto and heat. That allows the rooms in the summertime not to get so hot that it gets like mildew and smelly. And in the wintertime, it allows the rooms not to get so cold that pipes could possibly freeze or cause any permanent damage to the CRC. But it also helps us watch our budget and be the best stewards of the financial resources. You and I being good stewards of the financial resources at the CRC allow us to keep the retreat costs low. In the last year, we've actually brought the retreat cost down by $20 by some of the stewardship savings that we've been working on as a staff. And so we just ask you to help us to maintain that for everybody coming at the retreat center, because sometimes a retreat where we're able to save $20, that's able, maybe your retreat's able to offer a scholarship to somebody that wouldn't have been able to make the retreat another way. In your halls, you have coffee pots. If you signed up to have coffee in the hall, that was $5 a person for your whole stay. We will have provided the supplies. If not, then you're welcome to use the coffee pots and use your own coffee supplies. In your halls, you also have a refrigerator, a microwave. That's for you guys to be able to utilize in your hall. If for some reason you run out of toilet paper, we always have extra in the meeting halls. But if you need more toilet paper or paper towels for the bathrooms, then please contact us. If you're using paper towels for your own activities, then you should have brought those supplies with you. When it comes to the smoke detectors, please don't do anything to tamper with the smoke detectors. That is a penalty in the state of Texas, as well as don't pull any fire alarms unless there's an actual fire. If a smoke detector goes off, maybe it's sensed heat or it sensed smoke, or sometimes even the moisture here in Houston can impact a smoke detector. So if a smoke detector goes off, please allow our staff to handle that. They're going to check to make sure the area is clear. If needed, the fire department comes, but please don't try to stop the alarm from going. Let our staff handle it. If our staff hasn't shown up in a couple moments of an alarm going off, please do have the Golden Plunger contact the on-call staff so they're able to show up and arrive. Smoking is not happening in any of the buildings or on the walkway. Smoking happens on the outside of the grounds. So smoking takes place past room 64 on the room side, or it happens on the back side of the cafeteria, or over on the lodge and oblate hall. It happens over in a certain area, the sports pavilion. So it's pulling, there are smoking locations throughout, because we recognize somebody might be making a weekend retreat, and giving up smoking for the whole weekend is not doable. But we want to do that farther away from people, so they're not smoking on the sidewalks and people have to walk through the smoke to go to their meeting halls or to go to their bedrooms. Inside the cafeteria, we have a gift shop. That gift shop is self-checkout, so they can pay cash, check, or go online to pay by credit card. There's a box right there, a black box that says gift shop, that they're able to drop their money in, as well as then they can just go online to our website to the shop feature, and they can enter the amount that they purchase. So just buy what you would like. We have lots of resources there. We also have personal hygiene items. So if you show up and you realize I didn't bring my shampoo or I need a toothbrush, that's all there in the gift shop that you're able to utilize that. The chapels, your group brings the bread and wine, everything else is provided. If you wanted to use incense, you were to work with us in advance so that we can make sure you know the details. The smoke detectors in the chapels are very sensitive, so please don't just pull out your incense planning on using it if you had not ahead of time coordinated with us so you know how to do it. The meals are very important that you show up on time. The staff will have prepared, if there's a special dietary meal, please let the staff know the dietary need that you have submitted. So if you had put on that you're a diabetic, when you come through the line, say, I'm the diabetic, and that way we have that special meal, if needed, provided for you. Sometimes some of the meals don't have a substitute because the meal is perfectly fine for whatever that dietary need is. And other times we might have to provide something different for you. So please just let our staff know if you have the dietary need when you come through the meal line. After you're finished with your meal, please take your plates and your trash, dump your trash into the trash cans, pour any liquid down the sink there, and then your plates and your trays and your utensils can go in the window for the staff to clean. We ask groups, there are cleaning supplies there for your group that you're able to take it and clean the tables just to help with the service of cleaning up the cafeteria following your group's mealtime. We do have Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi was very intentionally not placed in retreatant rooms or in the lodges. Now it's wireless, which means sometimes it does hit in a room or a lodge, but we really designed this place to be a retreat where you pull away and you disconnect so that you can connect to God. So we want to encourage you with the Wi-Fi password. There's a password that is for the presenter. That is only for the presenter. That allows them to stream, right? And we want to make sure sure that each of the presenters at the CRC has the bandwidth needed. Now, if you give that same code to everybody in your group and they connect it to their smartphone, next thing you know, they're all pulling that bandwidth, and that presenter who maybe has a video or something that they're trying to utilize the bandwidth for is unable to do that. So there is a password for guests, which allows basic email, but they're not going to be streaming the videos in their room with that basic Wi-Fi. So that's all in the golden plunger flip chart. Lastly, if there is a maintenance issue, such as somebody from your group says, hey, my toilet's not working. In all the common areas, your meeting halls, there's a plunger. So we ask that you first try to plunge it. If it doesn't work, then give our on-call staff a call and they will try to come and fix it. If an air conditioner, somebody says, my air conditioning is not working, please go to the room first to make sure that it's on auto, that it's turned over to air conditioning or heat, whichever one they're wanting, and that the temperature gauge has been brought. If it's not working after you've had a chance to visually see that it's not working, then please contact our on-call staff and they'll come to help you with whatever is needed for that. So these are some of the basic things that we have. The last thing that I would mention to you is about candles or tiki torches. We know a lot of our groups might, sometimes for the environment, they might utilize some of these resources. Really important that all outdoor fire, so this is tiki torches, candles, whatever you might be utilizing, must be 8 feet away from the buildings or the walkways. We are working really hard to renovate the Christian Renewal Center, and we would hate for something to catch on fire because it was too close to a building or too close to a walkway. So one, make sure they're 8 foot away. Anytime you have fire lit outside, like a candle or a tiki torch, there is supposed to be somebody there watching it to make sure that that it's not, the wind blows and it falls over and it catches the grass on fire and then it runs through the building. And they should be mindful of where the fire extinguishers are located. We have various fire extinguishers throughout the property. If your group has a campfire scheduled, then our staff will start the campfire as well as put out the campfire to ensure that it is extinguished. Because unfortunately, too many times groups have left the fire thinking that they've extinguished it, but the fire rekindled itself after a couple hours. And so we just want to do our best job to keep everyone safe at the Christian Renewal Center and to be the best steward of the resources that we've been given. Lastly, the Christian Renewal Center is owned by the Archdiocese of Galveston and Houston, but it's 100% financially independent and run by the nonprofit CRC Retreat Partners Inc. The laity started this nonprofit ministry, and the agreement with the Archdiocese was that the laity would be 100% financially responsible. So what does that mean? It means we don't get DSF or Ignite funds, but we do get donations from people just like you making a retreat. So if you've come out to the Christian Renewal Center and it has been a powerful influence in your life, if you have been impacted or you've seen the impact that it's made on other people, we sincerely ask you to consider becoming a donor at the Christian Renewal Center. We would love to have you as a monthly donor where we can count on your continuous giving. Our currently monthly donors range from anywhere from $5 to $200 a month. So what is the right level for you? Only you and God know that. You can also consider making a one-time gift to the Christian Renewal Center. The more that all people become aware of our needs, the more that they've been able to help us to do the renovations that we're doing. We're currently on a 5-year plan to renovate the Christian Renewal Center. And the only way that 5-year plan is going to happen, besides the grace of God, is through donors like you. So we want to thank you for your support of the Christian Renewal Center. Once again, my name's Kim Brown. I'm the director, which means I'm the chief steward of this property under God's care. And we sincerely hope you have a wonderful time at the Christian Renewal Center. We hope that it's an opportunity for you to encounter and grow in a deeper relationship with Jesus Christ and his church. And we look forward to seeing you on future retreats at the Christian Renewal Center. God bless.